What do you think of his quote saying that he felt betrayed by Pat Shurmur, that kind of turned him away from his teammates that eventually led him getting traded to the Cleveland Browns?
I think Odell has every right to feel however he feels. And I didn't experience this through his perspective. I experienced it through mine, which was a very different side of things. And I don't know the ins and outs of their relationship. What I do know is that Odell was a great player for this Giants team, but there were a lot of, issues on and off the field that the team, I think, felt were distractions at times. And I think he is a tremendously talented player. But you know what? I don't really know their relationship in and out to say, hey, he's right or he's wrong, because we're all granted to have our own feelings and our own thoughts on the way things went down.
Now, he also mentioned that he felt that they didn't put enough pieces around Eli Manning around that time. You were covering the Giants at that moment. Did you believe that they kind of didn't do enough to keep Eli upright and keep him good to go when Odell Beckham was here?
It's tough because, that offensive line has been a point of contention for this Giants team for a while. And that's something it's a unit that's hard to rebuild. It's not something you can go out in free agency. Look, they went out in free agency, got Nate Solder a couple of years ago. But, it's not something that's easy. It's not like a, premier left tackle available every 5 minutes. And so that was one of the things that was tough for them. But, building a team takes time. And, look at the teams that the Giants did win Super Bowls with, some wild card teams, some teams that a year prior were said to be some of the worst offensive line units in the league. And then the next year they go on to win a championship. So, year in and year out, I think it's not about bringing in marquee players. And as you're seeing with this year's Giants team, it's about believing in the players you have and coaching them up to play at that high level and being able to say, you know what, we have this group of players on the field. We're going to put them in the best position possible to succeed.
Now, the magic of live TV. My partner, Monica, we lost her feed for a little bit. But so me and you, Madelyn, we're going to be right here for the next couple of minutes right now.
But there we go. I'm filling in for you, Monica. I got you.
Let's get to it. So we were talking about Eli before, and the person who replaced Eli Manning as QB1, Daniel Jones, still recovering from that hamstring injury, even though the Giants came off a huge win against the Seattle Seahawks. What is the latest on Daniel Jones' injury? Will we see him suit up this weekend? What's the latest you've heard, Madelyn?
Well, first of all, huge win indeed over Seattle. Colt McCoy went out there, did his job. Nothing flashy, nothing fancy, but you know what? He led that team. He made some big plays when he needed to, and it was enough to get the W over a Seahawks team that was a double-digit favorite going into that game. Now, the Giants, when they went to the West Coast, they decided to stay the night there and fly back on Monday because Joe Judge said that worked, and that was something that he tried with that Rams game. The captain said, hey, we really like this. It gave those players time to recover. When you play a football game, it's almost like your body goes through a lot, and you want to be able to recover before you get into that pressure situation of an airplane flyback. So the team flew back on Monday. They had the day off on Tuesday. Today, Wednesday, they will be practicing, and we'll be able to see kind of where Daniel Jones is. Obviously, he was trying to get some work in a little bit last week, but they were being cautious because, as you know, those hamstring injuries can be nagging. So I think Wednesday today is when we're first going to see what Daniel Jones can do on the field, and then as we build towards Sunday's game against Arizona back at MetLife.
It's going to be the most scrutinized hamstring in New York City, so hopefully we'll get some more news today as they start practice.